be ready to come on. But I am so glad you guys are here. It is Energy Sunday in my world, and we're going to talk about what to tell a Reiki client when you're first working with them on their very first appointment. There are some things that I think are important to mention to folks before we get started, especially if they've never had Reiki done before, but even if they have. So I always flip through some of our books here at the shop at Magus Books for inspiration about what to speak about. So today is inspired by Reiki for Beginners by David Vanels. And he does have a list in here, and I think it's pretty good. I talk a little bit about me. I make sure they understand that I'm a third-degree master teacher, that I've got a number of years of experience. All of that is wonderful. And I let them know that they're going to be laying down on a massage table with their shoes off, preferably. It's up to them, but I will let them know they're welcome to take shoes off. And that I will be putting my hands above their body, or the one time I might touch them is if I put my hands under their skull while they're laying on their backs or under their shoulders. That's it. And I will ask them before I do it as well. But I also let them know what they might feel. They might get super relaxed. They might get so relaxed they fall asleep. They might get cool. They might get warm. They might feel tingling. They might feel any sensation they might imagine, and they're welcome to tell me about it, but they don't have to if they don't want to. They're welcome to talk. We can have a whole conversation if they'd like, or we can simply work in silence so that they can sink into the healing process and meditate, perhaps, again, falling asleep. So I tend to go through all of that they might get very relaxed, that they might twitch, they might start sweating, they might, what else does this lovely author David have in here? They might move a little bit. And I have had clients that do that, particularly when I'm working on one specific area. That area may twitch and maybe nothing else twitches, and I come back to work again on that area and it twitches again. That tells me I'm going to spend a little more time there. And I let them know that I will be using traditional hand locations that I was taught, but that I will add them based on feel. So my hands might spend a little time on their shoulder and wrist if it seems warranted by feel or by what they're telling me they're dealing with. And that's not really a traditional hand position. I might incorporate other systems into the hand positions I use. I have some polarity training and other training, so that might come into how I interpret things. Is there anything else here? Oh, yes. They might find that their digestion moves a little bit while they're relaxing. So maybe their stomach will make a funny noise, and that's okay. They may find themselves tearing up. I've had a few clients do that where they cry and they don't really know why they're crying, but they're crying. I always view that as some kind of release, and I do my best to reassure them that it's perfectly fine for them to cry and to not know why. And I view it largely as a kidney release, that there's been some relaxation around fears and anxieties where the adrenals and kidneys kind of sit and side by side, one on top of the other. They affect each other pretty strongly. So if you're crying, that's where I tend to go. But we could also be talking about emotional balance through emotional release, because we balance the liver out a little bit better. And there are traditions from around the world that would tie emotionality to liver, and others would tie things like crying to kidneys. So I just try to let them know that there have been cultural expectations for that kind of thing all over the world, and that it's okay. Was there anything else over here? Oh, yes. That they might get a dry throat. And so I do try to have some water around in case they need it. But these are things I like to tell folks about, that they're allowed to stop the session at any time, that they're allowed to ask questions at any time, that I love questions. They're some of my favorite things, because I want that person to feel comfortable, to feel cared for, and to know that they are the focus for the appointment period we've got together. And that's important. They are the center of attention. They are the center of the universe while they're on that table, as far as we are both concerned, client and practitioner. So expect that from your practitioners, and practitioners expect to do those kinds of things, to communicate openly and honestly with your clients. Well, I hope this helps if you're coming into a session with a Reiki practitioner soon, or if you're about to try Reiki, or if you're a new practitioner yourself. And I want to thank y'all, of course, for tuning in on behalf of myself and the rest of the crew here at Magus Books and Herbs in Minneapolis and online at magusbooks.com. Have a wonderful week, guys. Blessed be.